What the fuck? Why am I having to activate ESPN? I can't watch the race on my cable because on my cable currently ESPN and ESPN2 are just big gray and black pixelated screens. So I'm trying to find a way to watch the race. Maybe this is a sign I should have just went and fucked myself today and not bothered. Okay, phone, I've typed ESPN about 30 fucking times. I'd like to fucking watch my television. I just did this code activation thing and it's making me do it again. It's like, you gotta activate this code. It's like, why? Oh, for fuck's sake. Well, this is a lot of hoops to jump through to find a way to watch an SRX race, which the broadcast is starting right now and I can't see because I don't have a way to watch it at the current moment. But I'm working on that. Any day now. Yep, well, it's good. Sign me in. Turn the fucking television on, please. Success. Device has been connected. Okay, so the race should be turning on any time now. Any minute. Oh, there we go.
Familiar faces here this evening from Tony Stewart. We also have Marco Andretti and Ryan Newman. We also have our familiar face in
This shit's louder than usual, is it not?
There are so many faces that we are saying hello to for the first time this season.
Nicole, we rack them again. It's the most diverse lineup in SRX history. A quartet of new faces for 20.
Well, they had to find a way to make an SRX dirt race interesting. What's up, Denny?
In SRX last year, he competed on the dirt at I-55. Now he's joined by 3 drivers making their SRX debut. You've got Austin Dillon and Chase Briscoe. Both have had success here on the dirt in the NASCAR Truck Series. Joined by NHRA's second winningest driver and funny car history, Ron Capps. Now, yes, he's gone over 330 miles an hour. Yes, he has over 70 national event wins, but he also has 8 starts, Nicole, here in the charity event, the Prelude to the Dream. So from Daytona to Indy to now Pomona, we have it all covered here at SRX.
Yes, we do, and it is now time to officially get things started. Here is 11-time NHRA National Event winner, also known as Tony Stewart's other half, with the most famous words in racing, Leah Pruitt.
Leah Pruitt.
Drivers, start your engine!
And Tony Stewart lucked out when he got her. At his age, to get her, you go, Smoke. I think this is Tony Stewart's race tonight. He's had a bad SRX season, so dirt race just in time.
I know there are 2 gentlemen in the booth who are ready to go as well. Alan Bestwick, Joey Logano, take it away.
All right, Nicole, thanks. That one word, Eldora, gets any short track racing fan excited. Joey, what are we going to see with these drivers on this track tonight?
Well, you said it. This is one of the most famous short tracks in the world. And you have some of the most iconic race car drivers on it at the same time. Some guys are dirt guys. Some are not at all. Some don't even turn left very often. And we're going to get to see all of that, and it's going to change a lot through the first couple heat races. The track's going to be pretty tacky. They're going to be on the gas.
Fun fact, for the second week in a row, you almost didn't get an SRX race stream because around 5 today, I went to bed and I passed the fuck out. Dude, I was gone. And then at like 20 after 8, I heard a car horn outside. I thought I was dreaming. It was kind of far away. I thought I heard a car horn. It was my grandmother honking the horn to get my grandpa to come help her carry shit in because she knew I was asleep. And I was like, oh, shit, it's a car horn. And I look at my phone. It says 8:15 or whatever it was. And I'm like, 8? And I look through the window. It's kind of light outside. And I'm like, oh, shit. Did I sleep past time to go to work? I had been knocked out so heavily. I was like in such a deep sleep for 3.5 hours almost. Excuse me. That I actually thought it was 8 in the morning. I thought it was 8 in the morning for a solid like 2 minutes. I was like, shit, I fucking missed work. Oh, well. And then I looked again. I'm like, oh, it says 8 p.m. It's still today. I thought I slept through till the morning. So if I hadn't woken up, you wouldn't have gotten an SRX stream because I was tired, man. I went to sleep.
Look at this challenging racetrack that they're going to face.
Yeah, we talked about how much it's going to change, but look how wide this racetrack is. Right there, it's 108 feet wide on the front straight. Look how wide the corners are there. This is where racers want to go. This is why it's fun. This is why Eldora is so special. From the wall, where there's going to be a cushion and they're going to be banging off the cushion, to the very, very bottom. Look for slide jobs tonight. Look for...
So you're getting a stream because I woke up before 9 o'clock.
Just go where they're not is what's gonna
I was like, oh man, now I'm not going to sleep tonight, but I feel kind of tired right now. I'm probably going to go straight back to bed after this is over.
Just a sampling of the action we're going to see on this half-mile dirt track tonight. So this is
I'm using the ESPN app on Roku to watch the race, so it's going to be behind what you're probably watching. It's going to be behind our leaderboard here, because on my cable right now, ESPN is a big black and gray screen. Excuse me.
You can also earn points for winning one of our heat races. Marco Andretti dropped second and third
Sorry.
last week at Berlin.
My cable is working fine, except ESPN. Actually, ESPN was working okay, and then I see at the bottom of the screen, oh, SRX is moving to ESPN 2 tonight because Little League Baseball's on. I'm like, well, okay, I'll flip over. ESPN 2, can't fucking see a thing. It's just a big, ugly, gray, pixelated screen.
You could call it a wild card. It's on dirt. A lot of different things can happen. Big night to capitalize.
When I get my new job, I'll be like, yeah, sign me up for benefits. I've been a
certainly
chief ass for
besides
Dollar
that
General, so
championship,
I don't
it's
want
certainly a
anything
big
coming out of
feather
my check.
if
So
you can
fuck
win
'em.
in anything here
I
at
don't think
Eldora.
I took
And
any
these
insurance
drivers
for Dollar
all
General,
wound
but
up for
yeah,
it.
with this
We
new
had a
job,
rainstorm
I will ask
like
and
you've
make sure
not
to
seen
make
in
a
some
point to
time in these
have
parts.
insurance.
Last night here, I mean, this place got soaked, and it yielded a perfect night tonight. Look at those weather conditions.
It is perfect. The track's tacky. We watched practice earlier. They water down the track a little bit more even. So they're going to definitely go through a swing. We talk about the track's tacky. That's when these dirt guys are really going to show up. The guys that really
Is this race on Cartoon Network? No, apparently it's on ESPN 2, and like I just mentioned, ESPN 2 is broken on my cable, so I just scramble. I turn on the ESPN app. It's like, we need to sign in with your ESPN account. I'm like, I don't have an ESPN account. I use my uncle's wife's Xfinity to use the ESPN app. So I had to sign in on what I used to use for a Disney Plus account. And then I click ESPN 2, and it's like, well, okay, now you need to go activate your service again. So I had to go back to my phone, type in another code, connect the Xfinity account, prove it was me, and here we are. I can actually watch the damn race, even though it's going to be way behind the leaderboard and what everybody else is watching.
There's the most interesting man in the field tonight.
Why did my phone
He's used
go
to
black?
330 miles an hour, as Matt Yoakum said, but he's not used to turning left, at least not a planned turn.
And I was talking to Ron earlier today, and I said, when's the last time you were in a race car that you actually had to turn? And he said, right here in Eldora, 11 years ago, in a late model. And
Ron Capps on the pole and hasn't raced on, what, an oval in a decade?
Like in the hunt, right off the bat, like picked it right up. Just goes to show true talent. A race car driver's a race car driver. Give him a second, they'll figure it out. True talent with Ron Capps.
On board, and Ken Schrader.
I think Ken Schrader might fare better tonight. He's starting with some track position.
Runs 60 or so dirt track
And it's
races
dirt.
a year. Ken is forward back here from Canada to race tonight. He flies back to Canada to race for the weekend right after the show.
Two racers, racer and Ken Schrader.
Absolutely. So, our format for tonight. Starting lineup for this heat race 1, drawn at random. That's how they're lined up here. We'll run 25 laps against the 16-minute clock. The finish of heat race 1 inverted for the start of heat race 2. The average of your finish in the two heats is where you line up for our 75-lap main.
And this starts gonna be
Tony Stewart's going to lead every lap of the first heat.
That's what they're working on. They resurfaced the track.
Actually, Bob Labonte might lead a lap, and then Tony Stewart will get the lead.
It's a different track than what they practice on, so they're going to be figuring this out on the fly with all these cars around them.
Green flag. We're racing.
Good start for Capps. Bobby Labonte asleep at the wheel there, it looked like.
Caps up front.
And that drone camera's finally zoomed out enough to where we can see the whole damn field. Isn't that not nice? It only took ESPN 5 weeks to get that one right.
Caps in the golden yellow machine, Labonte in white. Digging down the bottom in that black-colored machine is Tony Stewart.
Capps leads the first lap.
Tony was really fast in practice. Look how
Tony was, what, 3/10 faster in the field in practice. I saw the practice speeds, average speed.
Of the quarter. That's where he was making the speed in practice.
Stewart
Wow.
Labonte up high, Caps sliding it sideways.
Slide job, Tony Stewart for second place. It ain't going to take long.
Down the racetrack with all
Capps led 2 laps.
on the throttle through all that. That's what's making him so fast.
He might lead this third one.
Correct something I said earlier. The time clock for this heat race is 14 minutes. Little adjustment this week to the different size and shape and surface track we're running here. I feel great, Shane.
You got to be impressed with what Ron Capps is doing. He's got
love it.
one of the best
Capps holding off Stewart for
ever
another lap.
behind him.
Capps getting off the corner a lot better than Tony right now. I think Tony's driving in deeper.
Ron Capps,
Watch Capps get off this corner better. He's holding a straighter line and running a higher line. And then Tony closes up on corner entry, and then Capps goes a little low there. I think that cost him some speed.
Just the fact that he had the guts to come out here and put himself out there and do this and give it a try, all props to him.
Oop, bad corner here. He's had 2 bad corners, and Tony's there now.
So cool to see this.
Stuart low, Capps high. Got our heart rates put in. And heart rate monitors. Look at Ron.
Pretty calm.
Cool as could be. That's only Tony Stewart trying to pass me on a dirt track.
These guys don't have spotters. They have a mirror. They can't see a whole bunch, though. But I'm sure he's looked up every now and again and saw that black car behind him.
So Ronnie's still third. Brad Keselowski fourth. Then you've got Ryan Newman in fifth.
That's the best turn Tony's put together this entire run so far. He's there. Here it is. Not enough to slide. Job him. It's unbelievable how they can drive in the corner like that and not hit the car on the outside of them. What's up, Karen? Is Haley dominating? Haley Deegan's never going to dominate anything. Tony Stewart just finally got the lead. This Capps guy held him off for a good while. It took Tony 9 laps to get the lead, basically. I thought it was like a slam dunk. Tony will have the lead on like lap 3. No, it took him to lap 9.
Tony Stewart owns this speedway. Tony Stewart has won 3 of the 4 races the SRX Series has run on dirt tracks. He's pretty good at it.
He's pretty good. There's a lot of places we talk about a driver that owns.
Very benevolent of Tony Stewart to only have 1 dirt track this season in SRX.
In all the meetings of the sets. Here's Ken Schrader and Ryan Newman now.
Now, Peter, apparently SRX, they want to have more local guys now that Paul Tracy's fat ass is not here.
That red 33 machine.
I thought Jonathan Davenport was supposed to be in this race.
For the first time tonight.
Austin Dillon, another accomplished dirt track racer, runs a lot of late models. That's his background and how he started. So this is kind of coming back to his roots for him. Although we say how much is to his roots, a dirt late model and an SRX.
Matt Kenseth is running dead last, and I heard Matt say on the Dale Jr. Download recently he doesn't know why the one SRX race he's doing is on a dirt track. He's terrible at it. But the good news for Matt, he'll start on pole. Oh, Austin Dillon just wrecked. Deegan wrecked. Briscoe wrecked. Andretti wrecked. Oh, my God. That's a lot of cars destroyed. How many backup cars they got? That's fucking 5 cars. Did Kenseth get a lot of that? Kenseth's parked there. I don't think Kenseth got much of it. Okay, Kenseth's fine. His car's good. Deegan's not. Briscoe's not. Austin Dillon damn sure ain't. Okay, Davenport's in the race next week. Okay. Something broke on Austin Dillon's car for sure. Briscoe's technically the local, yes.
So the red flag out.
Won a truck race here before, too.
Dropping the window net. Here's another look.
Something broke. Yeah, something snapped. And Deegan was already committed to the corner and just Stephen Wallace right into him. And then Briscoe was there, and then TK was there, and then Andretti was there, and Kenseth made the stop. So Kenseth's good. Hey, Kenseth's not last anymore. He just passed 4 or 5 cars, whatever it is. This is bad.
Austin Dillon, all the way down at the start-finish line is where his car has finally come to rest. The others, Tony Kanaan, Chase Briscoe, Haley Deegan, Marco Andretti, Matt.
Okay, I vote for Austin Dillon
Big incident that started up in turn number
and Deegan to be out of the race because I'm sure. How many backup cars do they have?
little less than
Damn,
halfway
son.
through our opening heat race at Eldora.
TK was the real victim there. He was on the bottom, but turning as hard as he could. The car was just sliding. Okay, Paul Tracy caused the worst wreck in SRX, but this was the worst wreck that wasn't a stupid mistake. Damn, Deegan got the worst of it for sure. Might knock the talent back into her. Yeah, we didn't need Paul Tracy. We got a dirt track. It's amazing that those cars were not even running that close together, and all of them just wiped out in that. Do they have enough people to even try to fix these damn cars? At least Matt Kenseth didn't get destroyed there. There's some preseason football going on tonight, but I couldn't watch any of it because I don't get NFL Network and haven't had NFL Network in like 8 fucking years. I'm thinking about getting a Sling subscription for football season so I can at least have NFL Red Zone during the races on Sunday. Instead of just having the local game on my Xbox, I want to have Red Zone while I watch the race, and then when the race is over, watch individual games. I don't know how much a Sling stuff. Let me look that up. Let me Google that right now, because I won't get it till next month when the season starts. Because I just want to have Red Zone. And then when football season's over, cancel that subscription.
Thursday Night Thunder is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops. Your adventure starts here. Eldora Speedway in the northwest part of Ohio. We're surrounded by farm communities. Stark County's total population, the county, about 50,000 people, not much larger than the biggest crowds that fill this speedway for some of its major events. You know, Ohio
$40 a month plus $11 if you want NFL Red Zone.
Named for the iconic Earl Baltus.
That's a tough call.
After Tony Stewart bought his place from him some years ago. Well, we've certainly had a difficult start to our Camping World SRX Series Heat Race number 1 tonight at Eldora Speedway after an apparent problem on Austin Dillon's car. Triggered a multi-car accident in turn number 3 and has left us under the red flag. That's the damage to Marco Andretti's car. There's Haley Deegan's machine. There's the list of those who were caught up in it. And Matt Yoakum is down there with some of the drivers that are getting out of their cars.
Austin Dillon has walked up, and so walk us through. Is it a blown engine or overheated?
I'm not sure. All I know is it went up in smoke going into 3, and I'm guessing there's water all over it. So I don't know if the radiator hose came loose because it'll crank right now. Throttle's hung wide open. That's why I had to shut it off. But it's just full water lock right there, so I had nothing going into the wall.
Quick, pick up the red phone and call Paul Tracy.
That's all water out from underneath the car. Pretty good lick. But hopefully they have another car.
Austin Dillon will not race in the Indianapolis Road Course race Sunday due to concussions.
All right, we're going to walk across the next door here and catch
I wouldn't have been surprised. That was a hard hit.
Actually, Nicole's got Marco. Go ahead.
Yoakum tried to do Nicole Briscoe's job. Take her helmet off. Ain't nobody trying to fight you, Marco.
It looked like something broke, like somebody went straight. And so I immediately checked up, but I mean, it was like ice, you know, and I didn't know where to go, and I picked the middle, and then the middle closed up.
So for those of us who don't understand the difference between racing on pavement and racing on dirt, when this happens on dirt, how different is it, and how much more difficult is it to actually come to a stop?
Yeah, I think we just saw there. I mean, we just took half the field out. So I mean, I was on the brakes immediately. Like right when I saw him go high, I was already checked up. But I mean, I hit him with a ton of steam. That's what happens when we're back there. As soon as I'm conservative, I get eaten up in this series, so I got to be more aggressive.
Being slow really paid off for Matt Kenseth.
Well, Nicole, we're over here at the 57 car with Chase Briscoe. He's talking with Choney Uri Jr., his crew chief for this event. So, Chase, looking at everything that happened, they're working on the right front of your car, possible suspension damage. Are they going to be able to get you back out?
I don't think so. Listen, there's quite a bit of damage. I hit pretty hard, so yeah, I don't know. I think there's only one backup car, so they're going to try to fix this one.
There's only one backup car? Are you shitting me? They brought one backup car for 12 cars? I thought for sure they'd have 2 or 3.
Yeah, have a lot of fun.
What's up, Alex? We just had a 5-car crash, and they're telling me they've only got one backup car for the main for all the guys that crashed. Holy fuck. That's well, who gets the backup car? How do they decide that? Did they give it to the guy who was running the best?
Hi, Matt. Well, the remaining cars.
This race took a
in
turn.
Race number 1 have been sent back onto the racetrack. The red has been withdrawn. We're back under the yellow flag, and the crew will do its best to scramble on down some of the backup cars and see what.
You know, I don't watch practice and qualifying, but this week I'm definitely going to do that for the Cup race.
Ronnie, you heard it from a couple of the drivers right there. Pretty good hits.
Yeah.
Because I watched practice for the Chicago Street race, and I watched I was sitting in Chili's watching qualifying that day, and I was like, "Holy fuck, that Venkesbergen guy's fast."
So I'd be amazed if.
So wow, he's genuinely really fast.
So hopefully there's enough backup cars that can go out there, let them have some more fun.
Updates when possible from pit road. First, the pace truck, Ford pace truck driven by Randy LaJoy, is headed for pit lane, and we're going to go for a restart.
Randy LaJoy's the pace car driver? Wow. The more you know. He probably goes faster in that pace truck than Corey LaJoy goes in a Cup car. Green flag. Tony took the outside. And wow, Tony's gone.
The question on that, he chose the outside lane behind Tony and did not get a good start on that restart there. He's kind of got
Everybody don't wreck.
Not for long. He's coming back to the outside of Brad Keselowski and trying to see if he can get back to third as Stewart motors away. Labonte runs second.
Oh, Keselowski jumped the cushion. Kept it out of the wall, though, but checked up the rest of the field. Boy, we're getting scared every time the whole field has to. We got another heat race to go before the main. You see a car get checked up now, you just expect it's going to take out everybody. Tony Stewart's so far ahead, if a wreck happened at the back of the field, he could get caught up in it.
On the bottom in the South Point machine. And Matt Kenseth behind them.
And these guys know this heat race is about over. You see there in the bottom left screen, 53 seconds. They're coming to the time limit of this race instead of the lap limit.
Love watching guys try different things. You get guys trying the bottom to keep the car really straight, which costs you RPMs. You get guys up the top.
Cat just put a mean slide job on Brad Keselowski. Perfection.
Let it happen there. He said, hang on a second. I didn't take care of this car a little bit, so you kind of let him slide up into that cushion there. And you see all these guys, really, a lot of them were trying to run the top, but we saw run the bottom before that pass, and he was running pretty well.
So Tony Stewart's going to get the white flag. Last lap of heat race number 1. Labonte second, Capps third, Schrader and Keselowski race for fourth. And Tony Stewart has served notice that he'll be hard to handle in the main event.
Yeah, you want to say fast.
Shocker. Tony Stewart's going to win a dirt track race in SRX.
So checker flag, heat race number 1.
Now, what the hell do we do with just one backup car and 5 cars sitting in the garage?
Keselowski fifth, followed by Newman and Kenseth. And the exclamation point on this heat race put on by Tony Stewart.
The first silly season domino fell today or yesterday. McDowell and Gilliland will be back at front row next year in the 34 and the 38 cars, which tells me Zane Smith's going to Stewart Haas. I'm really glad McDowell and Gilliland are staying there, and I think Zane Smith will get the 10 now. So, Alex, in this particular race, there are 12 drivers, and 5 of them got crashed here in the heat race, and they've only got one backup car. And all the cars that wrecked look like they're pretty well destroyed. Like, maybe Briscoe's car could be fixed. Maybe Andretti's. But as far as the others, I don't know who you give the backup car to. Either way, I almost didn't stream this today because I was asleep, and now I'm kind of wishing I didn't because it's pretty obvious Tony Stewart's going to win fairly easily. Which I called that last week. I said, oh yeah, SRX Dirt Race. Tune in next week. Tony Stewart's going to win. I was taking a great nap earlier, and I don't know why the hell I woke up. If I'd have stayed asleep, I'd still be asleep right now. I was knocked out so good. Who's going to get the 10, Karen? Zane Smith. I would say Zane Smith's going to get the 10 for sure. I don't see Almirola coming back. I had Zane Smith going to the 38, but that's not happening now. So where else is he going to go? He's going to go to the 10. Unless he goes to Rick Ware Racing and becomes Justin Haley's teammate next year with support from Roush. Although I don't trust that just yet. No, I think Austin Hill gets the 31 Chevy. I would say Austin Hill probably gets the 31. Colleague and RCR have a good working relationship because you see Austin Dillon and Kyle Busch drive Xfinity races for Colleague. RCR's only got 2 cars right now, so I would say that Austin Hill's getting the 31.
Welcome back to the Camping World
But anyway.
SRX Series, a Thursday night thunder from an absolute jewel in the motorsports world, Eldora Speedway, middle of the cornfields in Ohio, very close to that Indiana.
Huh? It's on ESPN2 right now. It's supposed to be on on ESPN, but it got bumped to ESPN2. I don't know why.
Awarded with some of the biggest.
It's on ESPN2.
Was built in 1954
Which is not working
by
on my
Earl
cable
Walters.
right now, so I'm having to use Janet's cable to watch it because it's not working on our fucking
Racing
cable.
experience. It didn't matter. So over the course of a handful of years, he expanded the track, its size, and its slate of events. The Eldora 500, the World 100.
If you think Austin Dillon's ever given up his ride anytime soon, you're out of your fucking mind.
Many of them still run today with the support of Eldora's new owner, and if you were just watching heat number 1, the newest race winner as well, Tony Stewart, who bought this track back in 2004. And Stewart has continued to pay tribute to the Baltas legacy, envisioned by doing the prelude to the dream ahead of the dream. He brought back the Truck Series here too. Austin Dillon won that inaugural event. Chase Briscoe won it in 2018. Both of those drivers you see in the field tonight. Now, I mentioned it just a couple of seconds ago. Heat 1 is done and dusted, and the driver of that 14 car, Tony Stewart, is the winner. He is going to be someone to contend with in the main event. But something else to contend with is a lack of cars now after the carnage in heat number 1. What is up with the drivers for heat number 2?
Well, looking over here in the area, in the SRX garage area, Nicole, now behind me is Marco Andretti. He is in the blue and gold Goodyear backup car. He is buckling up as we speak. Right alongside is Haley Deegan. She's jumping in the orange SRX machine. She too buckling up.
Okay, so apparently they have more. Somebody lied. They got more than one backup car because Deegan's got one, and I didn't see who was in the blue when I was in the other room.
Seating position for the drivers due to their height builds, and that's what they're working on right now, trying to get them buckled in. But Joey, you've been in this situation before. You've seen this happen. A lot of feverish work going on down here, trying to get the drivers all comfortable as we get ready to go racing again.
Yeah, it's always an awkward thing, too, because it's a mad scramble just to get in the car and get everything going. Now, as a driver, you get really nervous, and you have to really take your time here for a second because safety is the number one thing. Make sure your seat, your belts, everything is right before you go back out there because it's a car you have
Austin Dillon will not give up that 3 car until he's like 50 fucking years old, probably. He ain't going nowhere.
So far, he's done a tremendous job to style him up. Ron
Unless he just
Cassidy
finally
got on
admits
here
that he
for
should,
Miami.
which I don't see that happening.
Well,
Spoiled
even
rich guy
against
admit
all
that
of
they're
us,
wrong.
as a
Yeah,
guy
right.
that just normally drives straight, I'm sure all your NHRA friends are very impressed because you're hanging with the roundy round guys, as you say. And so I want to say what you think. It looks to me like you're the second best car out there. I don't know what happened on the restart, but you got back up to third.
And Austin Dillon's not going to run RCR. Mike Dillon's going to run RCR.
So I didn't know they were doing the twos, or I would have got up next to Smoke. So after I figured that out, and then I wasn't ready for the green, Joey. So my round-around stuff needs a little more to be desired. But once I got going, I felt good. I got around Brad. And, man, this is fun. I'm so out of my comfort zone. This is crazy.
There's no Christmas tree here to tell you when to go. Well, you're doing great. We're having fun watching you. Nicole, what do you got down there?
Well, we're going to have more roundy round to go because we're only 1 heat down. We got 1 more heat to go, and the 75-lap main event, the Camping World SRX Series, continues from Eldora Speedway. It's Thursday Night Thunder on ESPN. We'll be right back.
Mike Dillon's going to run RCR, but probably only after Richard Childress croaks. I hope Richard lives a long life. I'm not wishing that. I'm just saying. Mike Dillon's the guy. And yeah, they do have their guy. They got Andy Petrie. It's like Andy Petrie is their Jeff Gordon. But like I said, Mike Dillon's going to run it anyway. more shitty work day and I'm free. And then next week I only work 3 days, and then I take my ass to Dallas, Texas. So I'm excited. Another Friday where I'm really tempted to not go, but I guess I can't call out 2 Fridays in a row. I really should have taken George Carlin's advice when I got the job and been like, hey, what's your policy on Monday and Friday absenteeism? Ideally, I would only work in that shithole Tuesday through Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I could handle that. Shit, maybe that would be the end. Be like, hey, man, even if I don't... Okay, so get this. I've got this new job that I start a week after I get back from Texas. I'm supposed to start training and be paid to sit at home and be trained, and then it's paid to sit at home and answer a phone. When that starts, even if it doesn't go well, I'm going to use that and just pretend that I still have that job and lie to my store job and be like, hey, I can only work Tuesday through Thursday. Well, yeah, I'll help you out, but I got to cut back. And I can work, because like right now I work like 6 to 7 hours, 4 days a week at the store. I could do more. I just don't want to. But I'll probably make it like 7 or 8 hours, 3 days a week. But hopefully my new job goes as well as I think it will, and I'll just have that job and sit at home all day. So either way, I got it made. That's what's going on in my life lately. I've had a pretty easy-going week at the store. I got a lot to do in there tomorrow. Hopefully it'll just keep me busy enough to make the time go by. Got my Spotify Premium loaded up with podcasts to get me through the day.
Coming out of your nose, my friend. It's a lot of dust.
I really just chose things that are fun for me. So unless I have to race for a championship in something, I figure there's no reason to torture myself with dirt.
You know that it didn't have to be totally sideways to go fast, so you got to be smooth on the throttle, which short track racing, and it's a little dirty, but at the same time, if the track's tracked right, it doesn't drive like an outlaw late model or sprint car, so you don't have to be completely sideways.
It is incredible experience. I really recommend the Kleenex in the race. Bricks coming out of your nose.
Drivers dishing about racing on the dirt. And it's been a rough night already here at Eldora Speedway. Austin Dillon's car apparently losing a radiator hose going into turn 3. Haley Deegan caught up in it.
A radiator hose calls that.
Briscoe, Tony Kanaan, Marco Andretti.
Tony, you got to build better cars. I'm kidding.
And that was just midway
These
through
cars are awesome.
the first of our 2 heat races tonight here at Eldora
I bet these
Speedway.
SRX dirt races would be awesome if Tony Stewart wasn't in them.
Yep, there it is. We talked about how that car was running high. A lap or 2 before that. And when it gets hot, it builds up a lot of pressure in there. Blew the lower radiator hose right off of that thing. So, unfortunately, that's what happens when you take these cars on dirt. We've seen this happen in NASCAR. If the track's a little bit too wet, too heavy, too tacky, those big clumps of rubber clog up that radiator screen, the grill right there in the front, and then they get no air, no cooling, and it gets hot and bad things happen.
So I guess they put Marco in the blue car. Deegan's got the orange car.
The SRX crew has the two of the backup cars out onto the speedway.
And they're trying to fix Austin Dillon and TK's cars and Briscoe's car. Yeah, Marco and Deegan get the backup cars because they're running full time. That makes sense.
Not a good sign for TK's.
TK looks like he's going to be out of the race.
That's really just the crappy part about racing sometimes.
Yeah, right.
Like, you just get caught up with something and you're like, man, I came on.
So Tony Kanaan's out. Deegan and Marco are in the backup cars. They're working away on Briscoe's car. And I think Austin Dillon and TK are out.
You can play the whole game, right? Unless something really bad happens. Yeah. This is racing. Sometimes something happens in front of you. You can't do
And
anything
Matt
about it.
Kenseth's on pole here. This might be how fast can everybody get around Matt Kenseth, who admitted on the Dale Jr. download a while back he's not a dirt guy and he's totally confused as to why he's running this race. Said it was the only one that was available to him, so he took this race, even though he sucks on dirt.
start heat race number 2. 25 laps. Scheduled distance for this one, green flag.
Big start for Kenseth there on the bottom lane.
Great start for Kenseth.
Brad trying to follow him through down there. It's all about if he can get the launch off that bottom side there, which maybe hang. Schrader's trying to run the top, though.
So Kenseth in white, then Newman in the South Point machine. Schrader outside, Keselowski inside, gives Schrader third.
There's no doubt where the grip is. You see them all running high.
Everybody's moved up higher this run.
Yeah, the dirt's still a little bit moist up there. That's where all the grip is. That's where they want to be. They're running their right rear up into that. That's where the cars are going fast right now. So if you're willing to make the pass, if you're Ryan Newman right here, you got to commit to where you're going to get back up. See, he's trying to run a little bit lower there, but he's not going to get the drive off the corner.
White car, Bobby Labonte, yellow car, Ron Capps.
Bobby Labonte had himself a moment.
The Bass Pro Shops machine. Be interesting to see how far forward he gets in our 25-lap heat race.
You see some good racing back there. Tony's on the way bottom trying to make that work. Tough to make that work.
If I'm Deegan and Marco, I'm just going to hang in the back and use this as a test session for my car. Come in before the main and tell them what changes to make. I'm sure those backup cars ain't handling worth a shit.
Tony going back up. Look at Capps. Finger in the side.
We've seen that not all SRX cars are created equal, no matter how equal they try to make them.
It's fun. Here goes Tony.
Oh, Tony. Damn.
Capps said, I don't think so, buddy.
Good job, Stewart, staying off him.
Oh, Capps is in the wall. Oh, that's another torque. Well, they can fix that. That just looks like some body damage. The wheel looks straight on it.
He has wrinkled up the right front fender.
Hey, good news. That right front tire is going to stay nice and cool now, Capps. Because there's a big fucking hole there. They can fix that. If they had another bad wreck, I think they'd just say, you know what, let's go to the main before everybody's car's destroyed. We only have like 3 left for the main.
Caution, the car of Ron Capps did just shed a piece of that.
Caution for Debris.
Side turns 1 and 2, so we'll have a yellow flag while they clean that up. And then we'll do the choose and get back to racing. So first caution of heat race number 2 after Ron Capps tapped the wall with the right corner of that Napa car. Matt Kenseth is our race leader. As you get a beautiful look at Eldora Speedway on Thursday Night Thunder. And the AMR safety team and the Eldora Speedway cleanup crew out to retrieve that piece of debris off of the Capps machine.
Capps was doing so good. Running that high side. Just get in there a little bit too high. You jump up over that cushion, and then everything above that cushion to the wall is just like clumped up. Dirt. Some people call it crumbs. I don't know. There's like a lot of dirt lingo. Someone's probably going to correct me on how to say all this stuff, but that stuff is what the difference is.
All right, quick break and then the restart.
Tony Stewart and those guys, and Tony Uri and those guys probably thinking, please don't hit the wall any harder than that. Get through this damn heat race so we have cars for the main. got to work today, and it was a fucking monsoon when I woke up this morning. It was raining so hard outside you could barely see. And we were due for a truck today to come in. I was like, man, I hope that truck driver doesn't get here early while it's fucking pouring rain. Well, sure enough, like, I've been at work for maybe 15 or 20 minutes. Here he comes pulling in. I'm like, oh, Jesus, fuck. It's like, if he didn't get there till later, I would have been able to just sit in the break room all day until the truck got there. So, of course, he got there at like 8:20. Spent over an hour helping him get the thing in position.
Territory up in Northwest Ohio from
So I didn't get the easy day I could have gotten.
Eldora, really well known for its open wheel racing, the sprint cars, the midgets, and tonight known for hosting the Camping World SRX Series. Its second visit here to this famed track in Rossburg, Ohio. Lights out on the pace truck, going to get ready to go back green flag racing in heat race number 2 with Ryan Newman and Matt Kenseth lined up on the front row. Looks like Kenseth has chosen the outside lane for the restart.
Which is interesting because he got the lead. If you remember the beginning of this heat race, he was on the bottom lane and had a great launch. Now he realizes the preferred lane is up top. Once you get to turn 1, though.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how he gets to start on this one.
Kenseth in white, Newman inside of him. Get ready for trip across the restart line and the green flag.
It's a pretty good start down there on the bottom, but it's not good enough.
By God, 3 wide.
Schrader here. Schrader's going to try to follow through to get the second.
Schrader in the 52.
Schrader, second place.
Here comes
Matt Kenseth is a speed bump. Schrader, get by him before Tony gets to you.
Right here, and he just can't pull the power down. But he's going to keep trying.
Tony's making these unbelievable dives into the corner and doing everything but hitting the guy on his outside. By God, Kenny Schrader just passed for the lead under green. Couldn't clear Kenseth, though. Kenseth's going to get it right back. Damn. Damn it, Schrader. I thought you made a green flag pass for the lead.
Schrader, experienced move, get back in line. He knows that Newman's right there. He's going to try to follow
Wow.
through.
They're all just stacking up behind Matt Kenseth.
That's the name of the gun game here.
Oh, Tony with a slide job. Couldn't clear Newman. That outside's where it's at. And it's getting higher and higher.
Still not able to make that bottom lane work. He drops back to 4th behind Newman.
And this is where if you're Ken Schrader or Ray Newman, is a lot of risk on making the move to make the pass. Tony has no risk. If he doesn't make the pass, he gets right back in line. If Schrader doesn't make the pass, Newman's going to pass him. Tony's going to pass him. He's going to get stuck on the bottom. So when you make the move, you better be 100% sure you're going to clear him and take the lead. Or do it on the last lap or something like that.
Yeah. Al Stewart still trying to slide in there and find a little grip underneath Ryan Newman. Schrader has a problem. Schrader just pulled to the inside.
Whoa, what's wrong with Schrader's car?
Schrader.
That's a shame.
That's bullshit. Fucking SRX car's falling apart tonight. Austin Dillon's car and now Schrader's car. Tony Stewart's second. Kenseth got a huge gap there when Schrader had his problem.
We welcome everybody who's been watching the Little League World Series to Rossburg.
Oh my God, I'm going to be able to watch this race on my cable now.
We're dirt track racing tonight with the superstars of
Let's find out. I'm switching over to my cable because it's further ahead. Is ESPN working on my cable? Click, 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 click. Loading, loading, loading. Looking for signal. Hey! I'm back on my cable. But it keeps, I don't know about this, keeps cutting out every 2 seconds. You hear that? That's not me, that's just the cable cutting in and out.
There's a lot of driver positioning down here because the SRX crews are busy trying to repair one of the cars that was heavily damaged in heat number 1.
It's who? I can't hear because my cable audio keeps cutting out. Tony with a great slide job for the lead. Credit to Matt Kenseth for holding his own here and at least staying in the top 3. He's second now.
The amount of experience Tony Stewart has around Eldora is showing his dirt experience as well. You can see all of his speed is made entry to center of the corner. He gets that car and rolls so fast.
A driver has yet to sweep both heat races in all 16 SRX events. Well, that's about to change. Wow, Marco on a backup car is passing for third, or trying to. I'm not watching this on this shit. I can't fucking get over how bad this cable is. So, yeah, back to the ESPN app. Please don't make me have to sign in another 35 times. It's fucking unbelievable. We pay for that shit, and it's that shitty most of the time. And it has to be the one channel I'm trying to watch, because I cycled through a bunch of other channels, and it's working fine, but ESPN's running like fucking ass. Go back, you fucking cunt. Jeez. Stupid ass ESPN app. I shouldn't even have to be using. Let me guess, it's going to tell me I got to sign in again. We're not missing anything. Tony Stewart's leading.
He's moved up to take the lead in heat race number 2. You saw the
Matt Kenseth's still second.
Nobody's ever won both heat races on one night.
Well, unless something happens, I don't see that changing.
There's Marco Andretti, Matt.
Settling in into fourth. Now, I spoke with Marco after practice, and he was almost beating himself up because he felt like he was too conservative on his practice laps. But keep in mind, Marco finished second on the dirt a year ago, and he's tied for second with the best average finish on the dirt. So high expectations coming in. He'd love to score a trophy finally on the dirt here in SRX.
And for a guy that comes from racing an open-wheel IndyCar on street, road courses, and high-speed oval tracks, this racing on the dirt thing is totally new to Marco when he came to the SRX Series.
It definitely is. And we talked a little bit earlier about as this track gets drier and slicker, it's going to drive a little bit more like asphalt, meaning you don't have to have the car as sideways like we see Tony Stewart making all that speed. As it dries out, the faster cars are going to keep their cars a little bit straighter, use their front tires and turn. And you can see Marco doing that.
2 to go. This is about to be a boring main event.
Turning to the left. There's Tony
Unless
Stewart.
Marco gets to Tony.
Eventually, it's going to be faster to turn to the left. Now, at what point does that happen? Does it happen in the feature or what?
Brad Keselowski just bounced off the wall.
Keselowski hit the wall. Please don't tell me you destroyed your car. 1 to go. Brad, why are you running that hard for like 6th place? Working in the shops, you're following the scoreboard. You're in Toledo. I'm lucky I can watch the race because my cable company sucks. And ESPN is the one channel that's not working properly on my cable right now. So I'm using the ESPN app with someone else's cable to watch this race myself.
ESPN2, the coverage is going to move and continue on ESPN for the rest of the night from Thursday Night Thunder. So
yeah, I mean, Tony Stewart's won 3 out of 4 of the previous SRX dirt races for a reason, and I said last week, yeah, Tony's going to win this. Kind of wish I'd stayed in bed. I took a nap a little while ago and got up and decided to watch this, but yeah, I don't think this is going to be the most exciting main event in the world. Hopefully it's over and done with quick. Apparently, they mentioned just now, you know, they had that big wreck earlier. Austin Dillon and Chase Briscoe were in the garage arguing over who gets the next backup car. Because they gave Deegan and Marco the first 2 that they had prepared. Well, they tried to fix those wrecked cars. Apparently one of them might run. And Austin Dillon's probably like, well, it's not my fault that the part broke on my car. Give me that car. And Briscoe's like, well, it's not my fault that something broke on his car. Give me the car. So I don't know who's going to be in this main. I know Tony Kanaan's out of the race. There was just no salvage in that car. Deegan, if she wasn't a full-time driver, she would have been out because her car was just jacked. So yeah, congratulations, Tony Stewart. You're about to put us to sleep for 75 laps. Oh, well. Really glad. That's why I'm really glad there was only one SRX dirt race this year. Tony's had such a bad year in SRX. Next year, 3 out of the 6 races will probably be dirt. Kind of reminds me of the Indianapolis 500 this year, for where the first time in the 100-plus year history of the Indianapolis 500, they red flagged the race with like 2 to go, and then it dawns on you that, wait, Roger Penske owns the series. He owns the track, and oh yeah, the car that he owns is running second and needs another restart. So yeah, red flag, first time in history. What do you know? Go back and watch my Indianapolis 500 stream to get my reaction to that one. I streamed Indy this year. Yeah, I streamed Indy this year because even though I was going to Charlotte, it was raining all damn day in Charlotte, so I sat here and watched Indianapolis at home instead of on the way to the track or at the track, because they show it at the track every year.
Thunder is brought to you by Camping World. Over 1 million RVs sold.
Certainly saw a number of campers out at the Eldora Speedway today getting ready for tonight's Camping World SRX Series, and so far we've been treated to a fun...
I like how everybody's like, get rid of Bristol Dirt, which I understand. They're like, get rid of Bristol Dirt, take him to Eldora. It will literally be the same goddamn race. Those Cup cars just don't act right on dirt. I'm sorry. I want a dirt race to work in the Cup Series. I really do, but they just, it won't. No matter what dirt track you take it to. It had nothing to do with Bristol not being a real dirt track. It was just, those cars aren't meant for it. We tried. It was neat. We can move on.
As far as the fun participation factor,
yeah, I blame Paul Tracy for this mess. He's the one that put him behind. Tony Stewart's got a big shit streak on his face. Just kidding, it's dirt. Who missed on giving Stewart the dirty Sanchez? It's on his cheek. It's supposed to be above his lip.
You can race with Matt Kenseth, you can race with Ryan, and especially on these dirt tracks, Matt's run the Prelude with us. Ryan's run dirt a lot. They know how you have to pass here. It's not like pavement racing. You got to do it a little bit different.
and you were trying to make a move.
For the record, I don't know shit for dirt racing because I mainly just watched NASCAR my whole life, like lots and lots of NASCAR. So when it comes to dirt stuff, I'm not completely lost, but if I had to race dirt in a video game or on iRacing or something, I would just die.
That's the fun part is, you know, if somebody makes a move, you already know and start your counter move to go along with it.
Patented Thursday Night Thunder fun, Nicole.
Now the Cleveland Steamer's the trophy they give you when you win a dirt race.
Who's used to going in a straight line. He's from the NHRA, so turning left or any direction at all, at least when it's not planned.
Look, Nicole Briscoe has one of those tattoos on her right arm that literally every woman has.
A new world, but this is certainly a much different experience for Caps behind the wheel of.
Caps has very little experience, but he did hold off Tony Stewart for like 9 laps in the first heat, so I'll consider that a win. Why do I feel safer at a NASCAR race than I would at a drag race? And no, I'm not talking about RuPaul. I'm talking about NHRA. Like, I'm worried that something would fly off that car at like 300 miles an hour and hit me in the head.
As the lone NHRA representative, this is my world. This is an NHRA Nitro funny car. As you can see, our
although RuPaul's drag race can be pretty scary too, but it's also funny.
30 miles per hour on the drag strip. I won't be needing this at Eldora. This is good for downforce. I won't be needing that going into turn 3. This is what the fans see. Let me show you what really makes these cars so awesome. You got to remember, in an SRX car, you got a lot of room in there. And they talk about the vision not being great in SRX. I'd love to.
Yeah, that's the weird dirt racing. When I've played it in video games, we don't need to hear this. When I've played dirt racing in video games, I'm always just so lost. I'm like, I have no idea how to go fast. I really don't. And yeah, Stewart might lead every damn lap. The best we can hope for is Marco to stay up there with him, catch one of those fun flag cautions, and then just door the shit out of him, and then we can see Tony get mad, and it'll be entertaining. Anyway, I was trying to form my thoughts, and Ron Capps was talking over me.
-8 or 9 Gs. If that's the difference in my car versus an SRX car, but there is one thing in common. Very few people on the planet get to drive either of these race cars, either the funny car or SRX. And also, they're the most coolest thing to drive in the world. Engine gen tonight, SRX. I'm playing with 700 horsepower. My nitro funny car, 12,000 horsepower.
The last dirt racing I did in video games was the SRX game, and NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 has those dirt modifieds, and I sucked in the SRX game no matter what dirt racing I did, and I suck at NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 render. I have no clue how to go fast.
Running an ARCA car, how'd that pay off?
Pretty good, Heat 1. Matt,
SRX canceled due to lack of cars.
this is a dream. If I can live this dream, you can.
They might lose a few more. How's Brad's car? Did they say how Brad's car was? Said he had pretty significant damage, but we never saw what Brad's car looks like after he hit the wall near the end of the main. Or the end of the second heat, not the main. Excuse me. Yeah, like dirt, super dirt modifieds or something. Like stock cars, but on dirt and really low to the ground.
So much power, but it is. I don't know if you see the in car when I'm driving, but oh my God, man, I'm just hanging on for dear life.
All right, he's hanging on for dear life, but you can see the smile on his face, Nicole. He is a kid having a blast here at Eldora.
He's definitely having a blast, but I think Matt Kenseth is as well. How would you describe your night so far?
There was a mechanical problem with Schrader's car. They also haven't followed up on that. We don't know what happened to Brad. We don't know what happened to Schrader.
So much mud all over me, I couldn't even see. So that I was able to get up front and run pretty decent there. Then when Tony got by me, I kind of knew what I was doing wrong, but it just gave me a little breathing room to try to figure it out a little bit.
Okay, so a little known fact, or perhaps it's well known, but like Matt doesn't just race cars; he races using his legs. And in a couple of weeks, what are you doing? What race are you doing now?
I have a friend that talked me into doing a ride across Wisconsin. It's not really a race, but we're riding our bikes. It's an event. I think it's 235 miles from La Crosse to Milwaukee in one day.
Or no, Haley's in a backup car. I don't think that's the right lineup. That's not that leaderboard's not right. They'll update the leaderboard when they line up. She's not starting second. She's starting near the rear because she finished like dead last in the first heat and near dead last in the second. So no, she's not starting up front. Neither is Marco. Tony Stewart's going to be on the pole because he won both heats. So they'll fix that. That's just the default lineup that it shows at the start of the day. Yeah, it's the cars in numerical order, I just realized. 1, 5, 6, 8, 14, 18, 28, 33, 39, 52. Schrader was running second when his car broke just now. It looked like he was going to go for the lead, and then he broke, and Kenseth took off, and then Tony eventually chased him down. Yeah, that leaderboard right now is just the cars in numerical order. Tired. I slept the day away today. I don't know what happened. I just got really tired earlier. Kind of wish I had stayed in bed. Do you guys see for the race on Sunday? They did the right thing in theory. They moved the restart zone back to that little short chute before the last corner on the Indy Road course. Problem is, if you're not running in like the top 8 or 10 cars, you're fucked on restarts all day Sunday. Because like 75% of the field's going to be in the middle of a sharp left while the top 10 are like, ooh, restart zone. And I get the idea is to break up the field, but it worked at the Chicago street course because you had that straightaway connecting the last 2 corners, but Indy Road course is a little different. There's a big curve. There's a big turn there. I still think single file restart should be the norm on road courses, and they wouldn't have to worry about moving the restart zone.
Stafford Speedway for a couple of weeks of racing. Then it was down to Pulaski County in Virginia for some thunder in the mountains, and thunderous it was. A week ago, we were in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at Berlin Island Raceway, and now we're in the northwest corner of Ohio at the famed Eldora Speedway. Eldora was founded by the legendary promoter Earl Baltus and his wife Bernice, who before the Speedway was created were known for something else, the Eldora Ballroom here. See, Earl was a big band leader. And before the Speedway was built, he and his wife operated the Eldora Ballroom, sitting just outside Turn 4. This footage from a couple of years ago, when SRX visited Eldora for the first time. The ballroom was a big deal for years, then less so as racing became a bigger deal on the property.
Man, they tore out the pretty
Tony Stewart
ballroom.
and staff have started renovations on the Grand Old Gal, with construction to be completed sometime next year. Another fitting tribute.
Where's Tony Stewart getting all this damn money?
That began not just for racing, but for music.
Can't be from how his NASCAR teams are running.
That's Camping World at the track. We finish up next week outside of Springfield, Missouri at Lucas Oil Speedway.
Yay.
The crews here at the Camping World SRX Series, they're incredibly busy and hardworking, but it has been a very busy night for these guys as they're trying to recover from some of these drivers who
They're
have been
working on
active out
Brad's
the
car.
track.
Looks like Brad's
Yes,
car is
they're turning
salvageable.
lap.
Brad's over there himself working on it, which he should. Hell, look at him. He's the one who hit the wall.
A few more times than others, unintentionally so, like Brad Keselowski, who was second in the points. That was right before the checkered flag in heat number 2. You see him there right in front of
How is Brad
car
second in points as
in
many
number
times he's been
6?
run over in SRX this
What
year?
happened, Matt?
Well, we're down here, Brad Keselowski. When you grow up a blue-collar short-track racer from Michigan, you work on your own stuff. It's a habit that you don't lose when you become a champion in NASCAR. Brad Keselowski is underneath the car. You can see him turning wrenches. He was helping set the toe a little earlier on. He's got the flashlight on the forehead. He's helping that SRX crew get this 6 machine back out on the racetrack, Nicole. Repairs going on. We'll catch up with Brad in just a little bit, but it's cool to see. You'd never lose your roots, no matter what level.
Anybody else feel like 75 laps is too much for this? Like it's going to take too long? I got work tomorrow. I say that as a guy who unfortunately has to get up and give a shit about going to work tomorrow.
And we have not seen him in the car since heat number 1.
I've been sitting here brainstorming for ways to make tomorrow easier. I'm like, maybe I should go in like an hour late. And I'm like, well, if I try to go in an hour late, then I'm going to be more likely to not want to go at all.
The chance maybe they get it done. Or
Kill me, guys. Kill me.
There's 20 laps in already, but yeah, I had a lot of fun. The 6-7 laps I got to run, just Austin Blue Radiator line or something.
Yeah, Briscoe's out officially.
So, unfortunate. Just kind of feeling it out. And obviously, tore up a lot of really good race cars there. So yeah, hopefully they can get it fixed. But if not, I still had a great time, even though I only got to run 6-7 laps.
Okay, let's talk about something very important. This is Chase Briscoe. I am Nicole Briscoe. We are not related in any way. In fact, we've
Fascinating.
known each other until tonight. That is your 5-minute warning, so hopefully Slim and Nunn gets together and you get back in that car.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Okay, he's not officially out. They're trying to get him back in the car, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Been to any family reunions, so yeah, definitely not related. Weird coincidence for sure, but yeah, nice fun to meet you today.
Thank you, no relation, Chase. Now back over to you, Matt.
And Brad Keselowski helping the SRX guys set the toe. Brad, what happened?
I just jumped the cushion, bottomed out the right front a little bit, jumped the cushion, and brushed the wall at the right front.
That's a car owner for you.
The lower end a tiny bit, so it's towed out. So just have to make a little adjustment.
All right, a little adjustment to the 6th, and we'll be ready to go here shortly. You heard the horn. We're getting closer and closer to going back to green. Nicole?
Oh, we didn't hear that horn, so we'll get ready for that. Plus, we're getting ready for SportsCenter. It is next.
Did they wet down the track again before the main? I think they should wet down the track again.
Kevin Connors. It's NFL preseason week 1, and it starts with the Texans and the Patriots. We're going to get a first look
Oh, man,
at
NFL preseason. I love NFL football. I just hate preseason.
By the Astros, plus Colin Morikawa donated $1,000 for each birdie.
Well, Leo, you know, they throw the cautions. Apparently they tell the drivers in the drivers meeting roughly when they're going to throw the caution. So the drivers are never taken by surprise when a random caution comes out. We usually are. I've gotten pretty good at predicting them. They seem to do it at, like, depending on the length of the race, they do it at the quarter mark or the halfway mark. I would expect a quarter of the way through this one, they'll throw the first caution. And then at halfway, they'll throw another. And then with like 20 to go, they'll throw one. But maybe they won't need to. This might devolve into a wreck fest. And then they can scramble and try to get shit ready for next week. Speaking of football, did anybody watch that Johnny Manziel documentary on Netflix? I watched it today. Holy shit. It's good. The main event is 75 laps. I think that's too much. And it's going to feel like too much because Tony Stewart's going to lead every lap and we're all going to be bored. Oh, man. Tired, boss. They should put a bounty on Tony Stewart. Oh, wait. He owns the track. He's the track owner. Can he put a bounty on himself? Because that's usually what happens. Like the track promoter or the owner's like, we're going to put a bounty on this guy. If you can beat him, you can get this much money and a bonus. So can Tony put a bounty on himself? As they frantically, desperately try to fix Chase Briscoe's car before the main. Just get the damn wheels to go straight. Easier said than done. Briscoe's used to being slow. He's had plenty of practice at that in Cup the last year and a half, so just get him out there. Tell him he can just be, well, I'm practicing for Sunday. I'm going to get out here and ride around and be slow and embarrass my entire team. He can get a head start on that tonight.
Event at Berlin Raceway. Images taken by Kirk West, who spent more than 2 decades as the manager of the Allman Brothers Band. Kirk and his wife Kirsten, they live in Macon, Georgia, where they created the Big House Museum.
My brother's in Macon. When they said Macon, I thought of that Walking Dead video game.
But they also own the
My brother's in Macon. My name's Lee
which
Everett.
features some of his photography, which he is taking now. It's so good to have him back at the track. He is a lifelong race fan and music fan, and he is doing what he loves. We're doing what we love, and next Thursday we'll be at Wheatland, Missouri, at another one of the country's premier dirt tracks. It's Lucas Oil.
Oh, wait, next week's dirt too? Oh, well, I guess I don't need to watch. For some reason, I thought next week was IRP because it said Lucas Oil. The whole time it's been saying, oh, Lucas Oil, Lucas Oil, Lucas Oil. I'm like, oh, that means IRP, right? No, it's another dirt track, so might not stream next week. We'll be doing Cup, Xfinity, and everything like always, but I might not do SRX next week.
Outrunning midgets. You knew what move he was going to do. He knew what move you were going to do. This is all part of the SRX fun, especially here at Eldora.
Yeah, it is. It's a whole lot of fun, especially racing with one of the greatest at his home track, I guess you could say. But man, it's just a blast. The track's a little heavier and we're a little tighter.
The spotters are
best
puppets with their hands up most drivers' asses, especially the bad drivers.
It's fun racing with the best, and it's a lot of fun
And
track.
they feed them the SMT data through the race to tell them where to run, how to run, how much gas to use, how much brake to use, what line.
Two brakes and 25 there, and the track changed it a little bit, but I think it'll continue.
I don't mind
Definitely a different
the
race
advancements in
track.
technology. I just
Trying to
wish
prove it. I think the way the track gets shaped,
NASCAR racing wasn't so aero dependent.
hopefully it'll come to us.
It's obviously swung in that. It's been swinging in that direction since 2007, where it's just like all about aero and air.
They're actually scraping and
I hate that.
dumping a bucket load of dirt outside of a Newman's race car that had accumulated on the back.
Yeah, Leonardo, I've been confused the whole season thinking Lucas Oil meant IRP. Oh well. Another fucking dirt race next week.
That amazes you the most, literally buckets of dirt falling off these cars, guys.
Here's my hot take for you guys. I don't give a shit about dirt racing. I don't understand the boomer fascination of like, dirt racing's real racing. Asphalt's for getting there and dirt's for racing. You know, like, I don't get it. Dirt racing is legitimate racing. Like, it's a legitimate form of racing, but, like, I don't get the fascination with it because most of the time when I've watched a dirt race, it's just messy and boring. But then again, I've only watched, like, SRX and some NASCAR stuff. Prelude to the Dream was always good, generally. And there's been some good NASCAR dirt races, but, like, I don't get the fascination with it. Go to your local dirt track and watch one guy lap the entire field. That's not real racing. It's just boring as shit. Maybe it's local dirt racing I have a bone to pick with. And the crowd that talks like that's the only form of racing in the world and that everything else ain't real racing. It's like, dude, I have seen local dirt races. My friend Dylan goes to local dirt races all the time, and he just comes back and tells me how shitty it is. So, you know. I'm an asphalt guy, that's for sure. I love short tracks, but I'm an asphalt guy. Give me asphalt.
The dirt track led to that.
And no driver did anything wrong there.
The variables of dirt racing make it, that's the most interesting part.
The part broke, and it watered down the racetrack.
But yeah, that local, support your local dirt track shit, that's always crappy racing.
Bad part about racing.
World of Outlaws is the best dirt racing in the world.
And then you saw Brad Keselowski hit his car starting to roll.
Sprint car racing's absolutely terrifying, so I would rank it, you know, like that Kyle Larson shit. I'd rank that second to World of Outlaws, even though it's basically just World of Outlaws.
The 6-car wreck, only 7 cars finished the heat, which was the fewest we've ever had in one of our SRX races. And for Tony Stewart, certainly established as the clear favorite.
The cult of dirt racing is what turns me off to dirt racing.
Absolutely. He did an amazing job coming back through the field in the second heat race. He had started last, right? And he went all the way through. That was pretty impressive. And we see the speed he's got. But we'll see. Every race is always different.
Yes.
Like I said, the track changes a little bit. It may not fall into his wheelhouse quite as much. I don't know if that's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see.
So 3 drivers will not make the bell for the main event. Austin Dillon, Chase Briscoe, and Tony Kanaan, all done after that big wreck earlier tonight. A couple of others got into backup cars. Haley Deegan, Marco Andretti are in. Brad Keselowski, you saw him laying on the ground under his car. There he is, out on the racetrack, ready to rejoin the main event.
They used all the people they got to get every car out there that they possibly could here. Unfortunately, a couple of them are still in the pits and didn't quite get out there. But yes, definitely going to be an interesting race for sure to see how this goes. And see some of the trouble spots. When you look at the high side there, look at the corner exits and the entry. See all that? I think they call it crumbs in the dirt world. But when you get up in that, that's like ice. That's the marble. We call it marbles in our asphalt world. You get up in that, and that's just going to suck you right into the wall. So you want to get.
So 10 of the 12 cars remain.
That's where the speed is.
There's grip on the edge of it.
But when you go over it, it's not good.
The cushion, I believe, is the term you're looking for, right?
Yeah,
Jump the cushion.
When you jump the cushion, there ain't nothing left in it. Yeah. Sometimes there's an area you can survive. I think right now you're going to go into the fence.
So fans here at Eldora who've been coming in since before the gates opened early afternoon today, giving the drivers a nice send-off salute. And
look at Bobby Labonte getting the front row start.
To get ready to start our main event. How about it? The pyro, the fans, the flashlights.
SRX has done a great job at all these races I've been to so far at bringing fans to these races.
Tony Kanaan is out. Austin Dillon is out.
Beast of its own, right? Where they have so many big races here all the time for dirt lovers, right? Race fans that just love dirt racing. But where else are you going to see this type of stuff? And when, like we said, we were in Berlin last week, packed the place out, bigger crowd than they've ever had.
Like I said earlier, they gave the 2 backup cars to the full-time drivers that got wrecked.
To those racetracks that otherwise wouldn't have a crowd that big.
It's the superstars of
Yeah,
racing.
Tony Kanaan, Austin Dillon, and Chase Briscoe are out. So we got 9 cars.
Bobby Labonte on the front row. Ron Capps, Ryan Newman in row 2. Matt Kenseth and Ken Schrader in row 3. Green flag, and we're racing.
75 really boring laps with Tony Stewart leading them all. Here we go.
Tony Stewart, he picked the bottom, had a good launch, and they're all sliding up, trying to find that grip, figure out where it is for the future.
This is too much. There's too many laps for this.
And remember, 75 laps is a pretty good distance, so...
Yeah, it's too fucking much. It's 10, 15 at night. Can't imagine why this shit hasn't done good ratings. Well, let's start this shit at after 9 o'clock on a work night. That'll draw in a big number.
You see Marco Andretti back there in a Goodyear car, able to make some passes up there on the top side.
How about Brad Keselowski in that light blue number 6?
I wish I was watching preseason football now.
The car with the flashlight on his head, helping the crew get the front end set, getting it fixed up so he could be out here and race some.
Really nothing to comment on. Everything is irrelevant in this race.
Brad is a worker.
But we watch the race for a reason. You never know what'll happen. You never know. And Brad jumped the cushion again. Didn't hit the wall, but damn, he went way up in the shit at the top of the track. Marco passed him pretty easily. Andretti's making the most of that backup car. Give him credit. Matt Kenseth is already dead last of all the cars left running. Of the 9 cars on track, he's ninth.
Someone gets a little bit too high, and they get in trouble. And they get a little bit into that stuff. And here's the guy that does it the best, Tony Stewart. Running right up there sideways. He's really got to figure it out.
Love the white gloves.
You might as well just show Tony Stewart's in-car camera here because it's kind of cool watching him run. See what he's doing.
I'd hate to see what trying looks like.
That's Kevin Ridley, the crew chief, one of the SRX crew chiefs. Oh, Bobby Labonte had trouble behind Tony Stewart.
What happened to Bobby? We can't see. ESPN, what happened?
Now it's Ryan Newman, the next car behind Smoke.
Let's dial up Smoke since he's not trying hard.
Yeah, I might as well talk to Tony Undergreen. He's got a 2.5-second lead on Ryan Newman.
Well, we just heard that you weren't trying hard, so we figured it's a good time.
He's not trying hard, and he's 2.5 seconds ahead.
Look at you. I can only imagine what trying looks like. It really looks like you got this figured out. You're about a league of your own. How's it feel?
I actually feel really, really good, really balanced. It's, the track's going to keep changing. It's going to get slicker as we go here, but my balance is good. I feel like I don't really have to take care of it. It's been really cool running these Goodyear radials here. It's not something we're used to on dirt, but it's a good tire.
Well, you got a pretty decent sized lead. You got a 1.6-second lead.
Schrader's third.
Schrader is right behind him.
Caution on lap 10. What happened? Oh, Marco's stopped at the top of turn 3, it looks like. He's got a flat tire. This is not a fun flag. It's a real caution. It's for Marco. He's got right front damage. We got to replay what. Okay, I guess we're just going to ignore whatever the fuck happened to him. Not going to lie, ESPN's kind of sucked with their SRX coverage. I think Alan Bestwick and Joey and Nicole Briscoe and Yoakum and everybody that's working is doing a good job at how they shoot the race. They miss a lot of stuff. It's like NASCAR on Fox to the extreme. Leonardo, you weren't here when I streamed the first season of SRX, but I caught on pretty quickly that in the dirt races in the first season, I was like, dude, Tony Stewart is running half-assed on purpose in these dirt races just to make it interesting. And then at the last fun flag, all of a sudden he'd be like, oh, I'm leading, and he'd just take off. He'd run like 3rd or 4th all night, and I'm like, he's sandbagging. He's not even bothering with that tonight. He's just dominating because they only started on pole. But he was absolutely sandbagging it to put on a show, especially in the first year of SRX because he wanted it to be good. It was so obvious he was just half-assing it. And then it was like, okay, time to win. He'd just take off, That's why last year I didn't watch or live stream like half the SRX races because I'm like, oh, this is boring. Especially the dirt ones because I'm like, yeah, this sucks. Because I saw year 1, Tony Stewart was deliberately not dominating. But now, why not? Just dominate. Run away with it. We all know you're going to win anyway. Go back and watch those races and tell me I'm lying. I've been watching racing a long time. I'm like, yeah, he's half-assing it. Putting some bear bond on the right front of Marco's car so he can get back out here and at best finish second to Tony Stewart if he even gets that close.
You saw the work going on feverishly on Marco Andretti's car down to the pit lane to try and get him back on the
Schrader's
track
on the
before
front
green
row.
flag. That is Andretti, the blue and gray machine with the Goodyear logo on the hood.
So
He ran
Marco
Caps in the
dive
corner.
bombs and hits Ron Caps and then goes straight to the wall.
He's driving the car really straight. He doesn't have much angle there, a yaw. And you look, as soon as they touch, you can see his right front tire is locked up. Now, whether that's from the brake that he's hitting or the fender that got into the tire, maybe locked up the tire. Either way, when tires aren't rolling, they have no grip.
Yeah, that's a problem.
You get out up there and you hit the wall, but it looks like he's got a new right front on it.
Marco anxious to go, but the crew not going to let him go until that car is totally buttoned up and safe to compete in. So field doubled up here for the restart, and coming to the green flag, Tony Stewart, the leader, has chosen the outside lane. And now he's got Ken Schrader inside of him as Newman will take the outside.
I bet Tony Stewart gets a good restart here and gets that 2.5 second lead back.
If he get a good start, which he did.
There he goes.
And get up in front of Ryan Newman, which he does really well. That's going to put him.
But Ken Schrader's second,
Give Tony a run.
a.k.a. first in class tonight. Ken Schrader.
Trying to get up in front of Newman as well. Newman will rocket past on the outside, and here comes Haley Deegan.
Damn, Haley Deegan in a backup car.
Backup car for Deegan.
She was good on dirt last year.
SRX competition before.
Won a K&N race on dirt before, I'm pretty sure. But then again, that's K&N. Everybody's pulling for Kenny, but you'd be better off shitting in your hands and clapping if you think Ken Schrader's going to win this race.
There that's hosting the Knoxville Nationals. For sprint cars this weekend, she finished second to Tony Stewart. I know it wasn't much of a trivia question. You do pay attention to these things.
She's definitely hanging with Ryan Newman right here. This is going to be a good race here as they keep pushing themselves closer and closer to that cushion.
David Stremme, who does all the test driving of these SRX cars, has really been talking to Haley a lot about trying to round out some of the driving skill that she needs to compete in these cars here.
Ken Schrader willed Paul Tracy out of this series.
David for being a little bit of a coach as well.
Yeah, Stremme's done an amazing job. We watched it.
Okay, let me pause that. Not pause it, mute it. You know what SRX needs to stay interesting now? I think, the shine has wore off this series a bit, just a little bit. They need to have 8 races next year and make those other 2 races on bigger tracks. Or a road course or something. Although if you did a road course, Tony Stewart would just win, but I'd like to see a bigger track. We got a caution. Got to make this shit last a little bit longer.
Yeah, no worries. We'll be here for a while.
Yeah, we will.
Keselowski spun.
Third of the way through. That is Brad Keselowski.
Spent more time facing the wrong direction this year than anybody in the series, but is somehow second in points coming into this race. We call that the Paul Tracy effect, as he just smashed everybody else so hard that it let Brad recover some points.
Doesn't look like Brad hit anything, though, so he should be good to go for our restart.
Guys, I'm really bored. I don't know what to do. I'm so bored. Hate to do it to myself, but tomorrow I got to spend a lot of money. I got some shit I got to buy for my new job. I need to get some new shoes. I got a couple video games to pay for this week. Yeah, I think they should primarily stay on smaller tracks, but would it hurt to have like one bigger track? I mean, are these cars safe enough, though? I mean, that would be my main concern, is the car safe enough to run on a bigger track. Yes, I'm messing with my Nintendo Switch right now. I'm not going to play it, but... I will be playing it a lot next week when I'm sitting in the airport waiting to go to Dallas. And then playing it on the flight there. I got a layover. I got a fly from Charlotte to Atlanta to Dallas because I'm on a Delta flight, and Delta flights always have layovers. in Atlanta usually. Oddly, on the way back, my layover's in Detroit, which I think is strange. Was my internet sucking ass today? Is that why this shit's running so slow? Oh, wait, we're back.
Thursday Night Thunder this summer. This time and next week as well, racing on the dirt instead of on a paved track. Tony Stewart is our race leader. Bass Pro Shops machine outside of Ken Schrader. In the federated car, they'll line up side by side again for our restart that is going to come just shy of the 1/3 mark in our main event.
And we talked about this restart before. Kenny Schrader took the bottom.
I was looking on the old Nintendo store for a minute.
Stewart in second place. Ryan Newman wasn't able to keep the gap close. Can Ryan Newman keep it close this time? It looks like he's going to.
3 watt per second. Wow, as Tony Stewart drives away again. Man, the race per second might be good here. Schrader, Newman, Bobby Labonte, and Haley Deegan. Newman, crossover. Talladega. You know, I grew up watching IROC. Oh, Schrader got put in the wall by Newman. Ah, hell. Newman just barely clipped him with his right rear into Schrader's left front, and it put him in the wall. That's probably done for Schrader. Looks like the right front tire is just killed on it. Yeah, Newman barely touched him. Newman barely touched him. What I was saying, I grew up watching IROC, and I loved IROC at Michigan. IROC at Michigan, Indianapolis, Daytona. IROC was the shit. I wish we still had that. I'd love to see an IROC race.
Which we seen that happen with Marco Andretti's car, but on the right front.
I love watching the IROC race from Michigan in '99. That's one of my favorites.
Body's just knocked in, or he actually has damage.
I want to say it was '99 or 2000. I can't remember.
Here's the race we were talking about. Such a
The one
good
where
race going.
Earnhardt and Dale Jr. were 1-2, you know.
Newman, great crossover move here. You're going to see Newman in the bottom. He's going to try to pull a bit of a slider.
And Newman misjudged the slide job, and it cut the tire down and then destroyed the right front when he hit the wall. I believe it or not, I'm old enough to remember IROC. I think 2006 was the last time they did IROC.
That sound, something went down. Either that left front tire or
I think it started with the left front tire going down.
contact, you could hear it. And so Schrader's out. They'll hook it up to the tow truck. No, I'm not going to ask. And we're under caution.
Hook it up.
Here at Eldora.
Poor Schrader. Had a tough time this year, most of it because of Paul Tracy. Dude, I want to start going to other racetracks here in the next couple of years, and Michigan's pretty high on my list. Like, I'd say Michigan and Talladega. I would say Indianapolis, but that shit's way too expensive, and you can't see shit there anyway, so probably cross that off the list. But Michigan's up there, Talladega's up there, Homestead. I've been to Charlotte, Darlington, Bristol, Martinsville, Atlanta, and New Hampshire, oddly enough. Yep. Bristol, Charlotte, Darlington, Martinsville, Atlanta, New Hampshire. I think that's every track I've been to for NASCAR stuff. I guess Indianapolis is just a bucket list thing, just to say, hey, I went there. Why is Chase Briscoe getting in a car? We're 29 laps in. He's going to get in the car and go run this thing? Why? His car owner's leading the race. It should be like, hey, man, let's not risk injury. Why don't you just go take your ass to Indianapolis and get ready for this weekend so maybe you won't suck for the first time this year instead of getting hurt in an SRX race. hitting these non-safer barriers. If SRX were to race on a, like, this is a pop dream, this ain't gonna happen, but say if I said, hey, let's race on a bigger track, and they say, okay, Michigan, then I would say, okay, everybody has to have a spotter. Everybody at Michigan would have to have a spotter. I just think about IROC at Michigan, and that's like my dream, to see these cars race Michigan. I'm the guy trying to get IndyCar to go back to Michigan, but at the same time, I don't want to see anybody die, so... One of the hardest wrecks I ever saw was in qualifying. It's Dale Jarrett, 2001 Coca-Cola 600 qualifying. That was my first day ever going to a racetrack. Man, he hit hard.
Lights out on the pace truck, and it pulls away. We're doubled up for a restart. It'll be this time Ryan Newman to the inside of Tony Stewart.
I've only been to 2 races this year, Atlanta and Charlotte, but I got a lot of races coming up now. Darlington, Bristol, Charlotte, Roval, and Martinsville. Oh, look, Tony Stewart's got a big lead again. 75 laps was too damn many. Like, I'm sorry. We're only on lap 32. Deegan looks fast now, though, but she ain't going to beat Tony Stewart.
So Deegan will slide back into 3rd position, just ahead of
Oh, Bobby Labonte. I thought Bobby was going straight to the wall.
An update on the Briscoes, or a Briscoe from...
A Briscoe, not related to me, but we're going to go with it. Chase Briscoe was involved in that heat number 1 bracket.
What do I think of Atlanta since the makeover? I feel 2 ways about the new Atlanta. Like, obviously, I grew up with older Atlanta and loved it. I hated when they first repaved Atlanta, but this year, the second race was really good. I was at the first race, and it was awful until about 75 laps to go. But really, I've been going to NASCAR races for over 20 years. I have never been more bored at a NASCAR race in my life than I was for the first 150, 160 laps at Atlanta this year. It was so boring. Nothing was happening. It was just choo-choo train racing. Hold on, Ken Schrader.
I knew he was coming, and he didn't do nothing wrong. I should have given
Schrader gives Newman the benefit of the doubt, which he should. That was just an honest mistake. But anyway, this last Atlanta race, the one that Byron won when it rained, was really, really good. It reminded me of late 90s Daytona because it wasn't like a big pack. It was like you'd get sort of single file, but guys could make moves on each other. Like the field would spread out a little, like accordion. The field would spread out and come back together. Guys could slingshot, make moves. You had to, some cars, depending on their handling, had to lift getting in the corner, which is interesting. So I'm liking the direction that the new Atlanta's going in. I would just like to see one race there where they run without the tapered spacer. I'd like to see like a full max horsepower, which I think currently the max horsepower for NASCAR is like 650 or something. I don't know. Take the damn taper spacer off and let them just run the 1.5 mile package we run everywhere else. I'd like to see a race with that. I don't know why they won't try it.
He probably calls it something else.
I don't know.
Valid observation on your part, yes.
So the new Atlanta's trending in a good direction. I've never seen a repaved track change so quickly in the span of a year. Charlotte sucked for like a decade after it's repaved. For the better part of a decade, Charlotte sucked after the repave. Michigan was bad for years after the repave. Atlanta, within the span of a year, the track's already gone through a complete transformation. So it's kind of an anomaly. It's weird. I just wish they were not running the super speedway package there. I think they should just run the standard 1.5 mile package.
He's working it through there, and you can't even see his feet there because he's constantly working the throttle. Right, you're helping to turn the car with the gas pedal.
That's such a big thing in dirt racing is you use your pedals as much or more than the steering wheel, and you see how much he's working the steering wheel. Now, as the tracks get
Now,
slicker and slicker like it is right
not only was that first Atlanta race this year really, really, really boring, I just had a bad experience at Atlanta Motor Speedway in general. It was just a shitty day, but the race was bad too. But I will say for the last 75 laps or so, I was really invested in it. I was like, finally, damn, like I'm invested in this race and stuff is happening. But it was just follow the leader, and it just, in that particular race, it was really cold that day. It was like really cold for Atlanta. Like I was wearing a hoodie and a jacket, and I had the hood up and everything. Like I was bundled up. It was cold. And Marco just bumped the wall again. It was really cold. I think that affected things. But the bottom line in the spring Atlanta race was non-existent. In this most recent Atlanta race, both lines were about equal. I would give a slight edge to the top, but you could make moves and run the bottom and make up ground and pass cars on the bottom. Spring race, you could not run the bottom. It was the top or nothing. And I just snapped in the middle of the race. I was talking to Dylan under caution. I go, dude, this is the dumbest fucking racetrack redesign I've ever seen. They want it to race like a super speedway, but they made it a lane and a half wide. And I said, it's hell. It's not even a lane and a half wide because only one lane works, and it's right against the fucking wall. How are you going to pass anybody? I was like going off, dude. I'm like, this is the dumbest fucking redesign I've ever seen. We want to make them closer together. Okay, mission accomplished. We want it to be like Daytona and Talladega. But why'd you make the fucking track so narrow? And why does the top line have more banking than the bottom line? That's not like Daytona or Talladega. That obviously gives the very, very high line a slight advantage. Or in the first Atlanta race this year, it was the only damn line you could run. If you came off that top, you were getting passed. Period. Brad Keselowski lost the race on the white flag lap because he left a door open, and Joey got a great push from Bell and got to his outside right when they got to the corner. So, yeah. Needs more power. That's the next thing they need to fix. Just more horsepower, please. That's a problem everywhere. But I'd like to see Atlanta with a little more horsepower. Just turn them loose. Just let them race. You would see a very unique and interesting race. It would be a better race because, like, yes, this past time, and I'm muting this because they're not talking about anything. This past time in Atlanta, depending on how your car was handling, some guys had to lift a little bit. Other guys were holding it wide open. It just kind of depends. But if you made them go faster and everybody had to lift, you'd see a better race.
He's just running the same lap over and over again. He's done that every
But I'm not totally against the new Atlanta. I'm not completely against it.
Brad Keselowski's machine as he goes through these corners. Watch him work in the steering wheel.
Brad will spin out again. Brad's going to spin out again. He almost did there.
While the gas pedal's going up, down, up, down, up, down. Oh, don't get up in the
Brad is literally, they're showing Brad right now. He is all over the damn place. He's 8 out of 8 cars left running, and he's like not running a consistent line at all. The front tires are jerking and pulling around, and he's barely holding it together.
Brad with a great run last Sunday in Michigan. Headed to Indianapolis this week.
Oh my God.
It's definitely something they should be very proud of, and I know they are. But we're going to make sure that ends this week. We need to win one.
So when are they going to tell Tony Stewart that, hey, the SRX dirt product's not very good?
Barely got off that one. Have to look ahead for Ron Capps.
Because this race hasn't been good tonight.
We're seeing Brad working on the front end.
Every bad SRX race has been on dirt. And we have a caution. I think this is the fun flag with about 21 to go. Remember I said they'd throw one with 20 to go? Here we are.
There, and he was trying to fix it. Probably other things that were bent in that, but overall, he's hanging in there.
One of the reasons Brad said he wanted to jump in and do
Haley
this
Deegan dive bomb. Put Tony in the wall. Take the win. What's he going to do? Punch a girl after the race?
Statistical proof.
I wouldn't put it past him.
The theory proved well.
Seems like it's working for him.
All right, this caution, a fun flag with 22 laps to go in our main event.
Yeah, a fun flag because nobody watching this race is having any fun whatsoever.
That higher line, right? But in this last segment of the race was down the bottom.
There has not been a single good SRX dirt race in 3 years.
If a caution comes out and he's got to race with somebody, how's the bottom going to work? Well, he was down there checking it out.
I think there's some of that. I think there's also that you're that big of a lead. Let's not risk it and hit the wall.
Looking back at some of the highlights of our night tonight, Ron Capps started on a pole for our first heat race. A heat race that featured...
There literally hasn't been any highlights since the wreck in the first heat.
And the big one. Austin Dillon had a radiator hose let go in his car. Stacked up. Haley Deegan, Tony Kanaan, Chase Briscoe, Marco Andretti. Matt Kenseth barely missed it. And that's the downer on the night for sure. Stewart roared away to win heat race number 2, so that put him in, heat race 1, which put him at the back for heat race 2. Didn't matter.
Not a problem. Look at him just sending in there. This is where Tony Stewart has just annihilated everybody. Is the turn entry. The 1/3 to the center right of the corner. He has destroyed everybody.
We've had our share of other bumps and bangs. That was Brad Keselowski wrapping the wall with his car. Spent the intermission trying to get it fixed up and did make the flag for the main event. This was Marco Andretti tangling with Ron Capps. Andretti has returned.
I just realized it's August and we don't have a cup schedule for next year yet. They got to be getting close to the cup schedule.
Ken Schrader after getting just the slightest of contact from Ryan Newman. Getting into the, quote, stuff, end quote. And Schrader back on the track now after repairs to his machine. So getting ready to go racing with 20 laps to go in our main event. And lights are out on the pace car. There's a look at
Ozzy,
at work
my cat's here.
behind the wheel of the Federated machine. So it's Stewart choosing the outside lane for the restart.
Ooh, let's get this over with.
Deegan choosing the outside lane for row 2 with Bobby Labonte moving down to the inside for this restart.
And I like this battle between Haley Deegan and Ryan Newman right here. And the preferred lane's the top lane. We've seen that the whole time. Ryan Newman's going for the bottom here. We talked about this on every restart. It's up to Deegan to stay as close as she can to Tony's rear bumper to close that gap. And it looks like she might here.
Deegan lined up behind Tony here. She got the jump right there with him. Newman dove it in on the inside, but that inside's not going to really work. It's the outside. Deegan's second now.
Huge roar from this Eldora crowd as Deegan goes to second place.
She almost got to Tony's bumper off of 4.
With the orange machine behind.
Maybe she can stay close enough to keep Tony honest here. You can tell she's driving a lot harder than he is. He's just smooth. She's like, coming off the corner. Oh, my God. Ron Capps just ate shit. And he did a little more than catch the wall. This is the most expensive SRX race. I loved the Chicago street race. And I told everybody going into it that it was going to be good, but nobody wanted to listen to me. It ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. I'm like, it's going to work. We've been running road courses. It's the same goddamn thing, just a little more narrow and in the middle of a city. It will fucking work. It'll be good. And look, it was. It was great.
Turn 3, and that just...
Ooh.
He just sent it in there a little bit hard.
So I don't know. People were really rooting for that race to fail. Oh yeah, scoreboard's wrong. The leaderboard did this last week. It completely broke with 20 laps to go, and it's doing it again. That's the starting lineup. But anyway, I told everybody Chicago street race will be good. Give it a chance. People were rooting for that shit to fail for some reason, and I don't know why. Why was everybody rooting for it to fail? Yeah, I understand. That's how I kind of felt. I was like, I think this will be good. But there were times where I'm like, they got to prove that it's going to be good. I was like, yes, a street race can work because we have seen. If IMSA can fucking do it, NASCAR can do it. Like, it's the same damn thing. Not really the same, but, they drive, like, bigger, heavier cars. Like, we can do it. It's just a matter of will people care. People cared. I think the TV ratings reflected that. The local response there was great. Although, leading up to the event, it felt like the local response was like, we don't want this shit here. That's the thing that had me kind of frustrated and thinking, well, maybe they shouldn't do this because it seems like nobody in Chicago wants this to happen because it's a big inconvenience to everybody there. That's why I was thinking, damn, this might be the first. I remember I made the joke when I was looking at the schedule. I said on a live stream, I said, yeah, and then in July, we'll have the first and last Chicago street race because I was like, they're not going to want them to come back and do this again. Now I think they're going to go back and do it again because it was pretty successful, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. It's a good track. It's a really well-designed course. Like, no bullshit. My question was, does anybody there want this?
You're looking pretty good out there. You had a good restart, able to keep the.
But people were rooting for it to fail. Brett Griffin.
Looks like you're in a good spot. You put a little
Yeah, people just want NASCAR to fail. I don't understand that people will follow and pay attention and watch a sport every damn week and tell everybody that I don't watch no more. It ain't as good as it used to be, even though they still watch. Ain't as good as it used to be. I don't watch no more. But that's stupid. And just root for something to fail. So I'm really glad it was a massive success.
All right. Good luck.
I figured out when they got there that weekend that, oh, yeah, this is going to be good.
Control's going to give them the one-to-go signal here. And that's what I was signaling at you.
Be talking to you.
Karen, they had just raced in St. Louis, which is higher on the crime list than Chicago. And you got people up there, I ain't going to Chicago. Don't get me in Chicago. I'm scared. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to get shot. I don't want to get run. Motherfuckers, you just raced in St. Louis, which is actually way worse than Chicago. Chicago's just a bigger city, so it gets more headlines. St. Louis is worse than Chicago, and they had just fucking raced there. What is the big deal? People need to get the fuck over it. They're acting like they were racing in the fucking ghetto. They were in the middle of the nicest part of the fucking city. Like, they're not racing in the slums. They're in the middle of fucking downtown. Like, Christ. You guys, some of y'all were acting like they were going to a goddamn war zone or something. Oh, yeah, the first ever NASCAR street race in Baghdad. Yeah. No, it was not going to be that. They were in the nicest part of the fucking city. So, yeah, it was fine. It was good. Nobody got shot. Nobody was going to get shot. That happens in another part of town. Felt it was weird that they had Jesse Smollett be the honorary starter, but, you know. Yeah, it was. They were not going to do that race in an unsafe area, for fuck's sake. God. People talking about a city they've never fucking been to. Oh, you can't go there. You can't go there. It's like, you've never been. Fucking Dallas and St. Louis are worse. Philly's worse. They just raced in the L.A. Coliseum. Is L.A. not worse? I've been to L.A. L.A. is kind of a shithole. Beautiful area of the country, but the city is kind of a turning to a shithole.
SRX Series races in our now 2+ seasons of racing on dirt tracks. The only race he didn't win was at Sharon Speedway in Pennsylvania at the end of the season last year.
Breaking news. Crime happens in every big city.
To Chase Elliott.
Mercifully, this race is almost over. But the whole reaction about the Chicago street race is what galled it and chapped my ass like no other. I'm like, give me a fucking break, people.
6 laps to go. And how about Haley?
This ain't fucking 1975. The entire goddamn schedule can't be in North Carolina, Georgia, and South Carolina, or Tennessee. We got to expand. And Keselowski's around again with 6 to go. Caution's out. God damn it, Brad. Trying to get this over with.
Stops inside the final 10.
Well, we're going to see another shot at it. I mean, I like this. Re-rack them again. Let's go for it. And we've seen the battle. The battle's going to be Tony Stewart, Haley Deegan, Ryan Newman.
So what happened here?
I spent a little time in L.A. I didn't see anything bad, but I had some other friends that stayed out there around the time I was there. And like, yeah, in this area, it's pretty shit. The homeless problem's, like, massive, but... Hey, breaking news, everybody. Nashville has a big homeless problem, and it's only gotten worse the bigger the city's gotten and the more it's expanded. That just goes with the territory of having a big city. Like, ask the city of Nashville about their homeless problem.
If you will. Yeah. Ron Capps coming back onto the speedway as the field gets the 1-to-go signal. Restart next time.
Quickie yellow. Remember, caution laps don't count inside 10 to go.
She was swept up in the big wreck in the first heat race. Climbed into this backup car. They got her refitted.
And Ron Capps is now driving a Featherlot modified.
He's doing a great job tonight for sure. Been consistently up front. Racing with the big dogs right there. Guys that
What are you doing,
raced
Ozzy?
on dirt a lot in a lot of different kinds of cars.
And by the way, these Eldora fans giving Ron Capps a standing ovation as he came by the main grandstand to catch up to the pack, saluting the effort he's made tonight. So
Does Haley dump Tony? Nah, but she might send it in on him and door him. But she ain't going to get that close. Watch when Tony hits this restart zone. Gone! She spun the tires a lot more than he did. And Newman's on the bottom, and that's just a non-factor now. But if you can get on that front row, you've got to take it, right?
So Deegan to second. They were 3 wide in turn 2. They sorted it.
Man, this was boring. Oh, but dirt racing, real racing.
Pit area, just a little too badly damaged for comfort.
At least these cars handle dirt better than NASCAR Cup cars, I guess. Yeah, Haley Deegan second. That leaderboard is completely fucked. Ignore that leaderboard. I don't have anything else to show other than the leaderboard, but I can tell you the only thing that's correct, when their name lights up in blue, that's when they cross the start finish. So you saw it went Tony, Deegan, Newman. Tony Stewart, Haley Deegan, Ryan Newman, Bobby Labonte, Matt Kenseth. Marco Andretti, 6th. And there's a big chunk of debris in the middle of turn 2 off of Brad's car, but nobody's running that low, so just please stay green for the love of God.
The bottom of the racetrack shouldn't be a problem for us to get these final couple laps in. Matt Kenseth low, Bobby Labonte high, side by side there for position. That's for 4th place.
Ooh. That was kind of close.
We've had a few of those tonight. Well, the stories of this night, damage from the big wreck, and this man, Tony Stewart, takes the white flag.
Hey, white flag.
From scoring another win.
Tony Stewart's just put on a clinic all night long here.
At a track he owns, he's going to sweep the night. Both heat races and the main event. A smoke show at Eldora. Tony Stewart wins it.
Wow, who saw that coming, guys? Who saw that coming? In any event, it's Brad again. Who's the car that's playing? It was Brad, wasn't it?
Eldora fans happy because their guy, not anybody could have come in and taken over for Earl Baltus at this place. He was the perfect guy, Tony Stewart.
Well, in any event, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I don't need to be around for post-race stuff. We saw this coming. We knew who was going to win. Tony Stewart won. Haley Deegan finished second. Maybe she can put that on her fucking non-existent resume she has in stock car racing. You know, I finished second again in the SRX dirt race. Maybe she can say that during her driver intro next year instead of 2-time Truck Series most popular driver, you know. So, lots of attrition in this race. That would explain Deegan finishing second, but nonetheless, I'm out of here. I'll be back for more of this Saturday. The Xfinity race is at 5:30 East Coast time Saturday, which is pretty outrageous. But then again, remember they're in Indiana. That's an hour behind the East Coast, so it'll be at like 4:30 their time. But yeah, about 5:30 on Saturday, I'll be back, and then Sunday we'll do the Cup race. If anybody wants to come back, hang out, and just bullshit with me. Tony Stewart, the world's most sweatiest man. And they say drivers aren't athletes as I look at Tony Stewart's double chin. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to go pretend to care about my job in the morning. Thank you for hanging out with me.